Floyd Money Mayweather cooks UFC head, pause, Dana White. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, it's been in the news, Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Will it happen? I don't know. But both fighters are taking stances, both sides, the UFC side of things, the boxing side of things, taking jabs at each other in the media, TMZ, and things of that sort. I covered like all these little occurrences as much as I can. And make sure you guys subscribe, like the video as well. I'm working hard. Mayweather fresh off the heels of a great Mayweather Promotions card to kick off the 2017 year. We already have in January a potential fight of the year, and that's Badou Jack versus James DeGale. It was many. It was that's a Bay Area word. It was crazy for those. What is many, man? But it was just a good fight. The co-main event also delivered a lot of entertainment value, a lot of action, and that was a Mayweather Promotions TMT fighter getting a title shot and winning the title, and that was Gervonta Tank Davis. So bright things for Mayweather Promotions. It looks like they're getting their squad up, and their fighters are getting a name for themselves and building. So the stable is growing. Now, FightHype did an interview with Floyd Mayweather, link in the description, and he absolutely ethered Dana White. And to me, this is the thing. Like, I remember if you guys watch Hip Hop Beefs and remember the beef DVDs and stuff, T.I. and Lil Flip were beefing, and one thing I like that T.I. was saying when he was talking about his beef with Lil Flipper of Texas is when Lil Flip dissed him, he had posters of T.I. and he put it on like a starving kid, a malnutrition like Ethiopian body, and T.I. said something that I like when he was talking about it. He was like, at his show, he posted my head on another body. Now that was fake. Now that was make-believe. That was some whole ass shit, because that was make-believe. That's not real. You know how T.I. be talking. I felt it was mighty hoish of him in the dexterity, but what he said was real. So to me, I think even like with stand-up comedians, the things that they talk about that you can relate to, that are just like, oh, I've been there. Like, you know when your parent beat your ass and you can relate to that, that's funny because it's natural and it jog something in your memory. So that's what I also feel about these disses and ether. When people say stuff that is probably factual, that's going to be more hard to defend, and that's hitting harder. Like, for example, TMZ did an interview with Dana White, and he said Conor McGregor will destroy Floyd Mayweather in a street fight, which, okay, that's debatable, whatever, cool. He has the advantage because he's a mixed martial artist. I'm okay with that. But then he also went too far. Dana White said that he would destroy Floyd Mayweather and all of his bodyguards. And if you've been in the streets, if you know anything about that, it's really not likely. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is a professional fighter, and he's stronger than what people give him credit for. Errol Spence Jr. told me that personally. So realistically, I shouldn't even have to break this down. You guys could say all the dumb, oh, pillow fisted, he's a runner and all that. But if it was on some street shit and you just ran up and a fight broke out, a melee, if you will, Conor McGregor is not going to not only beat one of this generation's, if not this generation's best fighter in a street fight, but on top of that, destroy and murder all of Floyd's security, guys that are 6'5", 200, 300 pounds. The one dude alone is a former football player, the Wall, those two dudes, and the other dude's 7 feet tall. So to me, it's easy to dismiss that, because even if Conor McGregor, if you really listen to what Dana White said, I mean, okay, he destroys Floyd Mayweather, but if he got jumped, he's going to destroy the bodyguards. Come on, man. That doesn't sound even remotely realistic. Versus what Floyd said to Dana White is probably true, right? And in that goes to the link in the description. He said Dana White has always been like an underboss, like he's a little boss. He was a boss, he was a player, but not the head. He wasn't the head honcho. He wasn't the mafioso. You know what I'm saying? He said the Furtada brothers were the ones with all the money and the ones that are kind of running the show. And Dana Walsh was like underneath that. So he's an employee. The UFC decided to sell their company. It was obviously highly publicized. I think it was $4 billion or whatever they sold for. And he said Dana White is an employee. So that's one jab. Then he also says, how is it that Dana White is making more money than Conor McGregor? And I'm going to get to that in a minute. How is Dana White going to make more money than Conor McGregor when it's all said and done? Right? So who's the real boss? Mayweather Promotions, that's his shit. He just put on the fight card. He clearly has the highest paydays everything. I don't even have to go through Floyd Mayweather's paydays. If you don't know, then research it, Google it, Forbes list, things like that. So him talking about the $25 million offer, he's saying it's rubbish. He's saying, I ain't got that amount since 10 years ago, right? He said, he said, thankful to the fans and everything, but I've been fortunate to, 25 is a nice sum of money, but when you're, just like I told you in this video where I made about this, if you're in Floyd Mayweather's tax bracket, 25 million is not life-changing when he's making more than that, and he hasn't made that amount in 10 years. This is simple math. I don't care whose side, who you like better, whose fighting style, none of that. If you listen to it, it's just like what I told you. It's factual information. Why would Floyd take 25 million? I posed the question, no one's intelligently answered, even though people allegedly disagree. Why on earth would Floyd fight Conor McGregor, two guys who are popular, who have a fan base, whether you want to see him win or lose or whatever, if you give him a shot or not? Why would he take 25 million for Conor McGregor when he made 32 million guaranteed for Robert Guerrero and Maidana twice, right? Fighters who aren't as popular as Conor McGregor. And he's allegedly retired now versus at that time when he fought Guerrero and the Maidanas, he had a 6-fight deal he had to complete for Showtime. Makes no sense. If you look at people always like, oh, Canelo Chavez makes business sense. So you look at the business sense in that. Why on earth would Floyd fight Conor McGregor, a UFC fighter, for less than what he got for Robert Guerrero? Makes no sense. I told you Dana White does not want the fight because he knows Floyd is the A side, and in boxing, Conor McGregor would be a heavy underdog. And why do that to your cash cow? So, I mean, it makes business sense for Dana White to protect his cash cow. Ronda Rousey's already getting battered about the octagon and lost back-to-back fights. So certainly that has something to do with her star power decreasing and her confidence decreasing. We don't even know if she'll come back for a fight. That hasn't been declared by Team Rousey, right? But she obviously is not in the cash cow spot, because to be in the cash cow spot, you have to not only be popular, but you have to win, right? And then the final ether moment was when Floyd Mayweather said, I remember back in the day, I've always been good. I've always been cool to Dana White. I don't have no problem with him. I don't have no beef with him. But Dana White used to ask Jeff Mayweather, he's like, Dana White used to be my bag boy. He used to carry our bags. What about that, Dana? Remember that? Ether. I don't care what you guys say. Now, let me get back to the part about what Floyd's doing. A lot of people are idiots, and this is going to go over a lot of people's head. And some of y'all are too goofy to understand what I'm about to say, because you ain't never been involved in no street shit. You never been to war. You never been in a fight. You don't understand the game. Some of you guys do, but some of y'all don't. It's all what you feel emotionally and who you like and stuff like that. People want to talk, oh, Floyd Mayweather can't read. And y'all be having a million misspelled words, like easy words. Someone put like, you're an idiot, which one? And they spelled witch, like witch on a broom. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy to me that, oh, this dude can't read. What would you rather be? A person on YouTube commenting who can't spell and decipher the difference between witch, W-H-I-C-H, and witch on a broom, and you work whatever you work, or Floyd Mayweather, who's making like 300, 400 million in 30 minutes and can't read. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all is like calling the kettle black. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. Some of you guys aren't going to understand what I'm talking about because you have pure hate in your heart. But Floyd Mayweather is smart. You can say all this, oh, he can't read and he sucks, all this running, whatever. But he's smart because he's a strategist. What he's doing is actually pretty brilliant with this whole Conor McGregor. One is keeping him relevant while he's retired. He is a retired fighter, yet anything he does is making national headlines. Yahoo Sports, ESPN, MMA websites, boxing YouTube channels, MMA YouTube channels, First Take, ESPN, right? He's making national headlines. He was trending after all this Conor McGregor stuff on Facebook. So he's staying relevant. That's one thing. Another thing, when it comes to war, and this is what some of you guys will not understand what I am about to say, because you guys, like Kanye West said, you ain't been doing the houseway, you ain't been doing the education. When it comes to the greats, if you study war strategists, Floyd plays psychological games. And again, some of you guys aren't going to know what I'm talking about because you never studied Sun Tzu, General George S. Patton, Admiral Lord Nelson, guys like Napoleon, Alexander the Great. You never studied quotes from them, stories from them, and seen how they move and what they do. Like The Art of War, Sun Tzu. You have to be pretty smart. But what Floyd is doing, and I'm trying to outline it for some of you guys that may not know or thought about it in this light, is he's planting the seeds. He's already creating friction between Conor McGregor and Dana White. And I'm going to tell you how. First things first, Conor McGregor is not getting boss paychecks like Floyd Mayweather. That is a fact. He might be getting good money. It's better than the average American. He's come over from Ireland. He's doing well for himself. But for his level of celebrity, he is not getting the type of deals that Floyd Mayweather has been getting for the last decade, right? And how Floyd is creating tension is because he keeps saying these things. And like I said, whatever Floyd is saying is making national headlines. You got to understand that. So it gets back because I see TMZ ask Floyd something. Then they'll ask Conor McGregor to respond to what Floyd said. So it gets back to the person, your two celebrities, right? And he's planting the seeds. What Floyd Mayweather doing is he's kind of deconstructing the relationship between Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor already said, I got some big announcements after UFC 205. He whoops Eddie Alvarez, becomes the two simultaneous belts at the same time, two division at the same time champion, and says, hey, 1, I'm having a baby. B, Dana White, let's talk business. I'm bringing all the revenue for the company, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I want to be a partner. Conan O'Brien, Mark Wahlberg, whoever else, Pee Wee Herman, whoever else has stock in the company since it sold, and they're part owners. I want in on the big slice of the pie. So what Floyd Mayweather is doing is he's creating doubt and psychological doubt. And again, some of you guys aren't going to look this deep and you don't understand it, but it's true. The stuff is going to get back to Conor McGregor, and he just the simple statement like, Dana White used to carry my bags. Okay, that's already just like a flat out diss. But also saying stuff like, why is Dana White making more money than the fighter who's lacing him up or gloving up and getting inside of that octagon, getting in that cage? So Conor McGregor already said post UFC 205 fight, I want to be part owner, or I need to, you know what I mean? I want a bigger slice of the pie because look what I'm doing. I am the UFC basically. And then you have someone else who's basically clowning you, saying, damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. Fuck happened to you? He's like, your boss making more money than you, and you doing all the work. So you don't think that's going to cast any kind of doubts in Conor McGregor's mind that, hey, maybe I should cross over to the boxing and get this record payday, get from under Dana White, or not even just leave the UFC, but cast doubts in terms of like, hey, maybe I'm getting the short end of the stick. And if I'm going to keep fighting the UFC, they need to start cashing out. So either way, it's going to create some kind of tension, I believe. For mark this video down, because he keeps doing these little strategic things. Again, you guys don't know Napoleon and Alexander the Great and stuff like that. You're not going to understand what I'm saying, but I already see it as being laid out. Floyd is doing these little things, and it's a subtle. It's like some things in life are very subtle, right? But he's setting the timer, and you start thinking like, oh, Floyd full of shit. Fuck Floyd, fucking runner. You start, you know what I'm saying? You start thinking about it like, and it's gonna detonate in your brain like, damn, I'm not getting paid. Like he's boasting, showing all his watches and how much his watch, research how much his watch is, and then Conor McGregor's gonna realize like, hey, for what I'm doing and how much the UFC sold for, and I'm clearly the biggest star with Ronda Rousey getting knocked out. I'm entertaining style-wise to watch. I'm clearly selling the fight. Why do you think Dana White, I think UFC 199, why do you think Dana White refused to put Conor on the main event in the Nate Diaz rematch unless he would promote? And ultimately, Conor McGregor was in Iceland. They took him off and replaced it with Daniel Cormier versus John Jones part 2, which didn't happen because John Jones outside of the cage issues. But they took it off and put it on a later card because Conor McGregor said, I want to focus on avenging this loss to Nate Diaz. I don't want to promote. I've done enough promoting. It's already like sold. It's already built up because I lost and we had a good first fight. So let me just train and sharpen my and correct my mistakes, basically. And Dana White is like, no, every fighter has to promote. I'm telling you, just like when Stitch Duran got fired for when Reebok did became the sole endorser or whatever, and the UFC fighters couldn't get endorsements and patches and stuff on their uniforms. These fighters are going to start realizing, like, hey man, I'm being kind of undercut, especially if they're big stars, and they're going to want more. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, Floyd is he's a psychologically, he's a strategist. The way he does little stuff and says little snarky remarks, it may seem like nothing at first, but then you start thinking about it and it creates doubts and stuff like that. Like, I can't even think of any examples off the top of my head. Okay, let's say Oscar De La Hoya. When he fought De La Hoya, watch the 24/7s. He was talking a lot of shit. Like, oh, Oscar's a bitch and da-da-da-da. That's one thing. But he was also talking that much shit, and he was saying, I know Oscar, he want to talk like me. He want to cuss. He want to say fuck, shit, damn like me. He want to be, but he has to stay behind this all-American, clean, cookie-cutter image. I know he want to cuss like me. He want to say shit, fuck. And he was doing, that's when he took the villain role, obviously. But you start thinking about it, and him saying that kind of fucks Oscar De La Hoya up, because he puts you on blast like, hey, you want to cuss, and I know you want to cuss me out, but you can't, because you all American. You're the one that you're the singer and the golden boy and this guy with this image, the clean cut Sugar Ray Leonard type of image that you have to protect and uphold. So meanwhile, I'm bringing chickens to the press conference. See, some of you guys don't think deep, but I'm bringing to the press conference. I'm bringing chickens, calling you a chicken. I'm getting my hair cut, 50 cents there. I'm saying Oscar's a bitch. I'm about to go for an 8-mile run right now because Oscar's a bitch. I'm gonna fuck that boy up. He was talking hella shit, and he was getting in his face, yelling, screaming, spit, probably touching Oscar De La Hoya's cheek and things like that. And then Oscar De La Hoya is kind of on the spot, because what is he gonna get out of character, so to speak, and be like, "Fuck you, bitch!" Da da da. I'm gonna go to. It would look odd. So that's what I'm saying. Floyd does these little sneaky, snarky things, and I don't know. It just I've seen it time and time again. Even Berto, maybe. Let's say like Berto, he was like, I want to fight Andre Berto or Kareem Mayfield. You know, somebody solid. Like, just if you're a fighter, you're like, what you mean somebody solid? You just want to fight some. It's almost like you take it as a diss. You know what I'm saying? Floyd is smart. He gets people out of their element. You know what I mean? What you mean you want to fight somebody solid? Like, it's almost like a slight at you if someone's saying that, like oh no, I just beat Pacquiao, I'm gonna fight a Mayfield or Berto. I need to fight me a solid guy. That just is kind of like psychologically, I don't know, maybe I'm losing some of you guys with this, but I know what I'm talking about. Like, I understand what I'm talking about, I guess you could say. So I think what Floyd's doing is obviously exciting entertainment stuff, build up stuff if he does fight Conor McGregor, but I think it's also strategy, because it's going to make Conor McGregor probably demand or want more, because I think he's already getting to that point. He's bringing in a lot of people. Like, you look at the weigh-ins, it's a sea of people. Conor McGregor's doing his thing. That's why Floyd wants to fight him so bad, because one, he probably knows he'll easily beat him in a boxing only match, and then two, he has the name that will make for big fights. And at this point in time, he's already proven so much. It's a business, so he's just trying to cash out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not make this easy 100 mil guarantee? And that's why you see Dana White offering something he knows Floyd won't accept. Floyd showing a watch that's 10% of the purse or whatever that Dana White offered. He's not going to go for that, and Dana White has to know that. He's been around the Mayweathers. And Dana White has this interview where he's talking about how Roger Mayweather got in an argument in the gym. Some of you guys might not know this, little stuff like this, but Dana White has an interview. I think it might have been in Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about Roger Mayweather and some young, like, stud, was like 24, but he was at heavyweight, and they start talking shit. And Roger Mayweather and him gloved up, like, all right, bitch, you want to fight? And let Dana White tell it. He said he's seen it or whatever. And Roger Mayweather fucked this heavyweight up, which is I don't know how much Roger was weighing, but this guy was fighting at welterweight and stuff like that, and he fought a heavyweight. So Dana White, as much snarky stuff and little jabs and vitriol and venom that he spews to like TMZ, he's not stupid. He knows the Mayweathers. He knows how good Floyd is, because he keeps saying it, but then he'll diss him. He'll say like, oh, Floyd, I take nothing away, undefeated 20 years, he's a good fighter. But what do you mean you're the same level of popularity as Conor? Conor McGregor's been out for 3 or 4 years. I don't care what anyone says, Floyd Mayweather is the bigger star. Whether you love him or hate him, more people would, if you post a picture of Conor McGregor, and especially Conor pre-tats and when he, you know what I mean, was clean shaven and stuff, post that picture versus a picture of Floyd Mayweather 5-10 years ago, and more people would recognize the Floyd Mayweather brand, point blank period. Conor McGregor's doing well for himself, but he's not on the same level. And based on him not being his own boss, he's definitely not on the financial level of a Floyd Mayweather. He hasn't made 100 million or 32 million guaranteed in one night. I don't even think he's made 32 million when it was all said and done with the pay-per-view proceeds. And he's bringing in a lot of revenue. Like, I'm telling you guys will start to see it. Conor McGregor, let's say he has similar numbers. Let's say Cotto or Shane Mosley fight for Floyd has similar numbers in as the Nate Diaz fight 1 and 2, right? But Conor, or even Guerrero had less numbers than the Chad Mendes fight and then the Nate Diaz rematch. It had less pay-per-view buys, and Floyd still got a 32 million guarantee. I'm telling you, Conor's gonna start feeling like he's being duped. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.